welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who, more often than not, confuses the film's drop zone with the film Terminal Velocity. It's John Levingood.
Wait a minute. Is Drop Zone, Wesley Snipes, and Terminal Velocity the one with Chris O'Donnell and like his sister and something about a jump that he swore he'd never do or something?
Wait, no, Terminal Velocity is Charlie Sheen.
Oh, wait, what am I thinking of? Who is Chris O'Donnell?
I have never heard of a parachuting, skydiving Chris O'Donnell movie.
What am I thinking of? Okay, well that's extra messed up.
Yeah.
But Drop Zone is totally like undercover Wesley Snipes though, right?
Yeah, and then you were like, sometimes you call it Passenger 57, but you're like, wait, that's the wrong airplane Snipes movie. I was doing some digging with Charlie Sheen and Wesley Snipes, and their careers mirror each other 100%.
100%?
Yeah, so it's a stretch, and it would never hold up in court. 0% of the time, it holds up every time.
This really strikes me, though, as wherever this is going, like it should be an article that goes online.
All right, so Wesley Snipes was in Rising Sun. Charlie Sheen was in Red Dawn.
Okay.
All right. Wesley Snipes was in Expendables 3. Charlie Sheen, Scary Movie 3. They weren't in the first two films.
Okay. All right. Okay, I see where you're going with this. All right.
Wesley Snipes was in Demolition Man, and Charlie Sheen was at Men at Work. I mean, Demolition Man demolishes stuff and Men at Work clean it. All right?
Okay. No, I'm feeling it. I'm with you.
They were both in Major League.
Okay. Yeah.
Wesley Snipes was in King of New York, and Charlie Sheen was in Wall Street. They're both in New York.
Okay.
Wesley Snipes was in Money Train. Charlie Sheen was in Money Talks.
Terrible movie.
Wesley Snipes was in Art of War, and Charlie Sheen was in Platoon. Now, I know, war, Vietnam War, it's a Mr. Fantastic stretch.
I'll allow it.
And this is the biggest one. Wesley Snipes was in Boiling Point. Charlie Sheen, Hot Shots.
I'm sure you were very pleased with yourself when you put that together.
I was running around my home.
doing victory laps.
Yeah, just headlocking people.
I got to do a victory lap if I can ever find this beer. But it was like 2 weeks ago. You told me about the Canadian breakfast stout by Founders.
Oh yeah.
So get this, I was just on the Untapped app like 30 minutes before we started recording, and I saw that Neil, who submits listener questions from the Neil's Deal podcast, was on Untapped in the last hour, and he just had that Canadian breakfast stout. And I'm just sitting here like I still haven't had it. I just feel like the schmuck who's just behind.
I had another bottle of it over Christmas.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was running around the house again. I just picked up someone and ran around the house.
I'm just glad I got my nib smuggler from Funky Buddha to brighten my week.
Yeah, we're branching out. We want any beer to sponsor us.
We'll take it.
Wait,
we'll take. You guys want to send us a 6-pack? We will talk about you for a podcast.
Okay. What movies have Money Train and White Man Can't Jump feature Wesley Snipes drinking a beer?
Both of them also feature Woody Harrelson.
That's right.
Probably also drinking a beer.
Now, what's a movie with Charlie Sheen? Oh, 2.5 Men. That's all he does is drink beer.
Beer and scotch.
So I did it. I did it, John Levingood.
Like you've solved the Good Will Hunting proof on the wall in the halls of Harvard?
Yes. If there was a whiteboard right now, this would be on that whiteboard. Stellan Skarsgård would walk by that whiteboard. He would look at it and just go, whoa.
I feel like on one side of the whiteboard is the name Wesley Snipes, and on the other side is Charlie Sheen. There's all this scribbling and equations, and all you do is circle one name and draw a line with an arrow pointing to the other.
That's it.
And then you just look at Stella and you just nod. And as he's nodding back, a shark bites off his arm.
And so, that'd be funny if I actually just wrote it up there on accident, but I not only combine Charlie Sheen with Wesley Snipes, but I figure out the relativity theory of gravity meeting the polarity of Mars.
Physics words.
Which then allows Elon Musk to put people on Mars. And the name of the ship that takes people to Mars is
The
Wesley
Event Horizon.
Sheen.
The Wesley Sheen.
Event Horizon?
That's more terrifying than the Event Horizon.
Or-
It's a ship called the Wesley Sheen.
There'll be tax evasion and partying on it. All right. So, want to get into listener questions? Let's do it.
Yeah. So we're gonna open with from Twitter, Alex Vorkov, and that is simply at Alex Vorkov as his handle. Alex asks, so how are Mothra's eggs almost the same size as Mothra?
So I have an answer for this question, but before we get to it, when he asked this, we're like, hey, ask us any questions. He's like, I pretty much know everything because I have Google. And I'm like, well, how about we answer something that you can't Google? And he's like, good luck. It wasn't exactly. I'm villainizing him right now. Like, it wasn't like this. It was very cordial. And then he's like, and then he just straight up goes, I know everything. And then he kind of called us all stupid, and it got ugly. But I reached out to one of my good friends who shoots horror films, works in the film industry. He does horror themed shorts, and one of them that I like a lot. He did a Christmas horror film, and I just want to read you some facts about this that Alex won't know. So the first one is there was a shitload of graffiti inside the room that we were filming in. We shot around a lot of it, but you can get a shot of a strange symbol that was spray painted on the wall whenever William passes in front of the small Christmas tree. We never bothered looking anything up, but there was a lot of graffiti, and one thing said they're coming. As a joke, we wanted to leave behind a dictionary. We shot because there was spelled wrong. We shot around a lot of different things, which is a reason why you don't really get too many shots of him against one wall of the house. The whole thing was naturally lit. We had several candles that were my own. They were from Thanksgiving, so it smelled quite pleasant down there. However, all the lighting was used from the sunlight. The last thing we shot was William looking outside of the concrete window because that was the darkest we could get it to look right. Whenever we are done filming that, we had maybe 20 minutes before it was completely black. The majority of the makeup was from dirt. That's pretty interesting. And the little girl in the film had never worked on anything else. And the Santa Claus outfit costs about $100 at Party City. So he spent $60. He spent that $100, and he bought the rest of the crew pizza.
What if Alex Vorkov was one of the members of the crew, and he knew all that? It's a reach. It's a reach. Alex, let us know if you're a member of the crew.
All right, so how about this? And What We Do in the Shadows, when the cops are in the home, and they have the cops in a trance, and the cops are seeing all this crazy stuff, but since they're in a trance, they're like, oh, that's fine. When the cop notices the fire hazards, Jermaine Clement improvs the line, hey, maybe we should have them look around the house to see what else they can find. Total improv line.
How do you know that?
The DVD commentary, that's not on Google.
Okay.
On the Crazies Blu-ray commentary, Breck Eisner was talking about the scene with the guy with the pitchfork stabbing everybody.
The remake, right?
Yeah, the remake. They didn't have enough time to really decorate the set, so they hung a bunch of plastic sheeting that cost them a total of $60. And it made the set look really great, and it only cost $60 during that scene. During the film Tusk, there's a monologue by Genesis Rodriguez. Kevin Smith was watching her act one day, and he was just like, I like her, I'm going to write her a monologue. So that night, he went home, wrote a monologue, and they filmed that monologue the next day. In The Descent, all of the caves that you see in that film, they built those on a set. There's very little actual cave work.
It's a lot. I guess it's inexpensive, but those are a lot of large sets, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, very large sets. Now, I wrote a post for Rotten Tomatoes about the Saw films. So I wrote Saw films in which something is sawed off completely. There's only one Saw movie where something's actually severed completely from a person. And the same Saw from the first film is featured in 4 other Saw films. And those movies are better than the movies that don't feature the original Saw, Hacksaw.
I'm going to presume that Alex did not know at least 1/2 of those facts.
That's right, Alex. Insult me again. Insult me again on Twitter, Alex. You think you can just bully me online? I'm not that guy.
He doesn't think that.
I've never talked that. Alex is a great guy.
He's actually, yeah, he's been pretty supportive of us for a while.
I hope he's laughing. Right, Alex, this is not serious.
That was a funny little discourse.
Yeah.
So wait, but his submitted listener question was, how are Mothra's eggs almost the same size as Mothra?
Mothra is part Kiwi.
Those little things do lay some big eggs.
Yep, they lay the biggest eggs.
So as it turns out, a lot of the listeners probably know this, but I'm an entomologist, like a real one, not someone who like got a degree in entomology or something like that, or took a couple courses. So I'm an entomologist, and as it turns out, it's not that uncommon for arthropods to produce progeny that big relative to their own bodies. I'm not saying it's common, but there are many examples, and some of them are very well known. Like praying mantises, their egg cases tend to be larger than the mantis's abdomen after it's laid its ootheca, its egg case. And the tsetse fly, right? Famous yellow fever fly, whatever. So the the sleeping sickness, not yellow fever. The tsetse fly, it actually live births a single larva that is about as big as it. Have you seen this, Mark? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Can we do something interesting? Mark, I want you, Mark, right now. Mark is going to get onto Facebook, and I actually have this very short video from YouTube, and I'm sending it to Mark right this minute. And I want Mark to watch it, and as he is playing this short 30-second video of a female tsetse fly giving live birth to a single larva, I would like him to narrate it, almost like someone watching the dog scene in The Thing for the first time in their life.
You sent me the trailer for Terminal Velocity.
I did not do that. Wait, are you watching it?
Yeah, that thing's huge.
You watching it? Like,
oh my
did
gosh.
you see the whole thing?
Whoa. That's about the size of it. I mean, I would say it's roughly 80% of that fly.
That larva that came out.
Yeah, the larva. And the larva just got, the fly kicked it. It was like, get out of here.
Right, it just kicks it off, right?
Yeah.
Is that not insane?
Yeah, and then, I'm going to watch the Drop Zone trailer now and just describe it to everybody. No.
Is there a giant larva falling next to Wesley Snipes?
Yep. That's what was dropping on him.
No, I mean, this happens in nature. It's not necessarily common, but I mean, it's not totally abnormal either. That a lot of times the females get very, very, very large before they lay the eggs, or whatever they're going to lay, and then right after they do so, they have halved in size and left behind eggs or a huge living larva in the case of the tsetse fly behind. And so this happens. Now, I don't think that's the answer to the question, though. The reason that I think that Mothra's egg was almost the same size as Mothra is because the Japanese writers were like, no, make it bigger. It just needs to look really big so that it's cool. And the moment it comes out, it can fight Godzilla.
And they're very into decorating eggs. Just type in Japanese decorating eggs. Big part of the culture. And also it looks sweet. And Mothra's egg was put in a theme park, right?
So people should YouTube Japanese egg decorating and also YouTube tsetse fly, Tsetse fly, live birth. And you will find all of your answers right there.
Well, how about this? Let's add some links to our Facebook page. So I'll add a link to Chris Kelly's Christmas horror short. We'll add a link to the fly birthing an evil larvae, and then we'll do that. Yeah, and then we'll do some Japanese egg creation.
You know what, folks should actually keep an eye out for when we post about this episode, and we can put this in the comments of the episode post.
Yeah, so then that way you don't have to go Googling around. You can just bring traffic to our site and share it. Also, you can
your villainous little laugh.
It's like my Ernest P. Worrell laugh.
You sound like Christopher Lambert is Raiden in Mortal Kombat.
I need some ninjas to punch in the arm now. Yeah, and also, if you have time while we're on it, head to iTunes, wherever you go, Stitcher, and rate, review, and subscribe to the pod. We love it. So whatever you're doing right now, aside from driving, head to Movies, Films, and Flicks, and give us a rate, review, or subscription. Doesn't matter what. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Alex, for your question and your heckle question.
Oh, I was like, his comments stung me so bad on Twitter. I had to sit in a dark room for a day.
Mark, he's so dramatic. You're gonna make him self-conscious about commenting.
I think we left the whole thing with we each giving each other smiley faces on Twitter. So Alex and I
was it a begrudging smiley face?
No, it was like the happy ones. Like, hey, we just had a battle. We went through it. We watched The Art of War. We survived a parachute with no we survived skydiving with no parachute. Now we're buds.
You were skydiving next to the giant tsetse fly larva.
Yep, and then we gave each other a huge high five, like on Point Break.
Does it sound totally discrediting that when I was calling myself a real entomologist, I started to say yellow fever with tsetse fly, which is totally wrong?
Yeah, but I guarantee only about 1% of the people would have known that.
Dude, but someone's going to hear it and they're going to be like, I'm not listening to this podcast. This entomologist is a fraud. Well, it's like, dude, it's about movies, films, and flicks. There's no mention of insect. No, it's a fraud. This entomologist doesn't know shit.
Yeah, and then they would comment on my page and blame me for it.
They'll find some erroneous misspelling and say stupid blogs. This happened, folks. Someone found a single misspelling in like a 2,000 word article that Mark wrote years ago, and we're still talking about it because they wrote a mean comment about a single letter typo.
Like, we've had a bunch of mean comments, but I don't mind when it's just because they didn't read it. But when someone actually reads it, scours it, and then tells me I'm stupid,
and that's all they had to say. It was definitely like, what if it wasn't for that typo? They would have just been enchanted by the insight.
Oh,
of
yeah.
The art.
I would probably be writing for Time Magazine right now had they not caught that.
This article, by the way, listeners, not to toot our own horn, but when we aren't huge, but when we were smaller than whatever we are now, Mark wrote an article on the best horror of the 21st century. And at the time, he was like maybe the first person to write one of these articles. Like, people hadn't jumped on that bandwagon yet. And it was no joke. I heard it on the radio, like my top 40 radio station was talking about how the internet has spoken and was referencing Mark's article. And then this guy comes in, finds a typo where this is on the radio on national popular radio stations. He's just like, you had a misspelling.
Yeah, that wasn't cool. Never read the comments. That's what I learned. But speaking of a movie, like, so I did that first, kind of like one of the first people to compile all that data in 2015. What did we start in 2011? That's been really popular since then for movies, films, and flicks, John.
Well, is it something? Are you referring to one of the things that is very common and typical that we do that everyone else does? I think that you're referring to the Random Awards.
Yeah, so I started the Random Awards in 2011, and they just became a staple of the site. They were fun to do. Obviously, we couldn't watch every movie, and there's really no chance for us to. So for me, instead of saying, here, it's what the best film is, here's this, here's that, and sounding really authoritative, I went the other route, and I did Best Random Awards, like Best Nap, that went to Godzilla. Best Arm Grab, that went to Divergent.
I thought that was Captain America.
Captain America Winter Soldier in second place was Divergent.
So wait, now, and we've pointed some fingers without naming names in past episodes of the podcast when we brought up Random Awards, but haven't you come across other websites that have done their Random Awards?
It's getting a lot, and I look back to make sure I'm not full of crap, and just be like, make sure they started before me, and they haven't, and it's picking up. But you know what? Like, these are still people. These do really well. Whenever I release them, people are really excited for them. So we're gonna keep this. We've been doing this for 3 years on the podcast, so this is our 2017 Random Awards.
2017 Random. All right. And unlike the articles, which is pretty much all Mark's baby, I have generated a few Random Awards of my own.
And I do have pictures and videos on the site on this. So if you type in 2017 Random Awards, you can see the pictures, videos, et cetera, for what I am talking about. So if you want a visual reference. And I can also link to that in the podcast article.
Okay, well, let's kick it off. I mean, give me something random, Mark. For the listeners who haven't heard this before, like, what is a good example? Give us your first random movie award.
All right, so the best pie eating
In 1984, went to Stand By Me.
Yes. But in 2017 goes to A Ghost Story.
Not, why is this the best pie eating?
All right, so the movie starts off with Rooney Mara and Casey Affleck. They're together. I wouldn't say they're happily together, but they're together. They live together. And Casey Affleck passes away. And shortly after he passes away, he comes back and he wears a bedsheet the entire movie as a ghost. So there's a scene where Rooney Mara is in her grief and people have sent her food. And she sits down in the kitchen, a static camera shot, and she eats, I would say, 80% of an entire pie. And then she goes and pukes because she's tiny.
Does she really eat it, do you think?
Oh,
on
yeah.
camera?
Yeah, she is eating a pie. 80% of a pie. And for
in one shot.
And the Ghost Story is actually in my top 10 of the year. It's in my top 5 of the year. It's my number 5 of 2017, followed by Dunkirk, and then 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and then The Lost City of Z, and number 1 is Baby Driver. But Ghost Story, it's beautiful, it builds, and it's creative, and it shouldn't work, and it's very patient. I can see how people would see it as being pretentious, and this pie eating is actually a big... People talk about the pie eating in this movie, but I liked it. I don't know, she eats a whole pie.
How does it compare to Bill Murray Groundhog Day when he pushed that entire, I think, angel food cake thing into his mouth? Which I understand he did for multiple takes.
He knew there were repercussions. He knew there were no repercussions because he would just wake up the next day. So he didn't have to worry about calories. He was exploring. It was more of an experiment for him. He wanted to know what was going to happen. This pie eating in A Ghost Story was grief pie eating. And to watch a very good actress eat a pie in a static shot, that needs to be awarded. So that's the best pie eating of 2017.
Okay, my first is the absolutely worst Werebear of 2017 and probably of film history. And that worst Werebear goes to the movie The Guardians, which is a total Russian superhero ripoff of everything mainstream ever that happens to feature a werebear as one of the 4 superheroes.
So is a werebear a werewolf, but just a bear?
Right. This is like instead of lycanthropy, is it ursopathy? I don't know, but he was created. He wasn't bitten by another were something or cursed with lycanthropy or ursopathy. I'm making up ursopathy, by the way. Instead, a mad scientist made him to be their super soldier for the Cold War, and his ability that they gave him was that he could turn into a bear. And they have a term because they totally ripped off the Incredible Hulk, where if he goes into no joke, actual quote from the movie, full bear mode, then he loses control and the bear takes over, and he's afraid that he won't be able to get himself back. And it's just like the arc with with Hulk and in the Marvel universe. It's really cheap. The way that they rip things off in this. It's a wonderful bad movie, but it's a terrible, terrible movie.
If Wolf Cop, which is one of our podcasts, you should look it up where we talk about it. If the Werebear battles Wolf Cop and Benicio del Toro's Wolfman, not Wolf, Wolfman, who would win?
Why? That's a tough call because this Werebear also carries a Gatling gun.
I'm all right, Wolf Cop versus Werebear.
I think if it didn't have its gun, I want to go for Wolf Cop just because I liked Wolf Cop a lot more. But I don't know. The claims they make about this stupid Werebear are pretty big. They straight up hulked it. And I have never liked a Werebear before. The horror movie Chillerama in 2011 had Werebears and they were stupid. And then that Desolation of Smog had that 8-foot guy who was a werebear. Remember, they went to his cabin, and that was just awful. Werebears just don't work in film. But this is probably the worst werebear.
You know what's interesting? He worked better in the book in The Hobbit than on film.
Because they didn't make him look so stupid. It was our imagination was on.
Yeah, in the book, it just plowed through lines of orcs and goblins. It was pretty amazing. What was the best moment of the Werebear? What's one random moment that you think was the best moment for Werebear?
From the Guardians?
Yeah.
When he went into full bear mode and he had what looked like 2 anti-aircraft guns strapped around that bear's midsection on his back like he was an artillery device. It was so stupid, but it was probably the best. It was like the best and the worst part of the movie.
Were you throwing high kicks when this scene was happening?
Oh my, no, I was just, you know how like people say like I was shaking my head in silent disappointment? This is like me shaking my head so hard that my shoulders are moving. Like, no, like this can't be happening. Like, that's just one of my gripes with this, whatever. So, worst Werebear.
All right, so I'm actually moving on to another monster type film.
Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you think that Alex Borkov is listening and that he says, I've seen a worse Werebear in 2017?
Yeah, and he's probably tweeting that to us right now.
Probably. I'm going to leave this podcast recording. I'm going to be grumpy when he corrects it.
Yeah.
Love you, Alex. All right. Sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
All right. So the next one, it's a monster-esque film, and it's a film called Colosssal. And I'm going to award that film the best head scratching of 2017.
Can you, I'm sure a lot of listeners are aware of this movie, but they might not be linking the title. In one sentence, what's this movie?
Anne Hathaway moves. Her boyfriend breaks up with her. She moves back to where she grew up. She stays in her parents' home. She discovers that there is a giant monster attacking Seoul at a certain time every day. She learns that if she steps foot in this playground, she turns into a monster in Seoul. So she's in a playground in the United States, but her form is a massive monster that knocks down buildings when she walks through this playground.
So she's like a Jaeger pilot, but she's controlling a kaiju around the world.
Yeah, and she's just drunk. And the way she realizes that she is the monster, there's a clip of the monster scratching its head with one finger, the way she does in the film. And then she learns to map out the playground, and there's some pretty gnarly twists and turns. It gets dark. But I don't know, I just love the idea that Anne Hathaway is dancing to show her friends, and then all these terrified people in Seoul are watching this monster dance.
Getting killed, probably. People are getting killed while she's proving her point.
She actually learns where to walk without...
To not step on a bunch of Japanese people?
Yeah. Korean.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Korean. Seoul. I'm sorry.
And then she, you know what's funny? I lived in Korea, and every time I went through Seoul, I was always looking for the monster from The Host.
That was a good movie.
I was like, come on. Come on.
Is The Host actively being remade? That was spoken about a lot online in the last year. Is that really happening?
If Anne Hathaway plays The Host scratching its head, I'm on board. And I hope it doesn't get made. Because that's a weird movie, The Host. That's a weird but great film. But I guess, yeah, sorry to jump back in, but I don't know. I thought Anne Hathaway was really good in this. I think this movie went to some dark places, and I just love the idea of a monster scratching its head and confusing everybody in Korea.
I still need to see this movie, but just the trailer was very charming. And if I recall correctly, the head scratching is in the trailer, right? Where she's watching the TV and she sees. Okay, yeah, that was a cute, kitschy scene there. So, my number 2 is for the absolutely best futuristic bachelor pad award, and it goes to Blade Runner 2049. Harry knows how to live. Screw the Blade Runner characters. This is all Harrison Ford. He knows how to live. Just him, his dog, an outstanding high-end Vegas bar, and an outstanding view even in the apocalypse. What are your feelings, Mark? When you first saw, after they met and they're walking around in his bar, like,
I loved it. And you're right talking about that bar, because in my head, I would have already been through every single one of the surrounding buildings, and I would have found all the best bottles of booze and placed them in my bar.
I mean, that way, you never even have to leave like you're doing a grocery run.
I would just hunt it out. I would go hunt out great whiskey. You see all the great books he had?
Do you have any idea how many different bottles of Pappy he probably found to to supply his bar.
I mean, he could take shots of Pappy Van Winkle 23 and have more great stuff on the shelf. I don't know. I did think he was drinking Johnny Walker Blue. I was a little curious. I guess you just need an everyday thing. I know it's expensive, but when you are surrounded by great booze, I guess that's a good thing to
I
drink.
think we have to get a little meta there, though, and just pragmatically realize that Johnny Walker ponied up money for this movie and Pappy didn't need to.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the bottle was cool. A lot of good books, a lot of good music. He gets to fist fight people in places where Elvis is performing as a hologram. It doesn't get any better than that.
When we saw them just walking around casually and talking and giving a little graceful exposition for this what I thought was a great sequel, by the way. At times I found myself so distracted, just squinting my eyes and trying to find detail in his bachelor pad, that I had to remind myself that I should pay attention to the dialogue.
And you know what pissed me off? In the trailer, they show them blowing up his bachelor pad, and I was just like, no, don't show me more cool stuff. What happens to the alcohol? In my brain, I'm not worried about the characters. I'm like, don't blow up the whiskey.
No!
And then you see that they do, and you're like, oh, why I oughta. You know what? Oh, actually, I'll jump into another thing at a later award. But so we each got 2 in. Let's take a quick break. Let's watch some larvae being hatched, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. We watched some larvae being hatched. We watched Home for the Holiday by Chris Kelly, and we are disturbed.
Home for the Holidays, is that available, by the way, for people to view publicly?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Cool. Okay.
And during the break, I also opened up a can of Scofflaw's Basement IPA. What are you drinking, Lovingood?
Well, in our first half, I had the Motorworks Midnight Espresso, which it was all right. And now I'm going to just a classic favorite, the Cigar City homemade apple pie cider.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. Listen. And there she is.
Drinking that cider. Grandma cider.
I'm actually planning on going there this weekend. It has nothing to do with our shameless attempts to get Cigar City, if you're listening, to sponsor us. But just because I have a cousin in town from Oregon this week, and I wanted to show him some of the breweries in the area, so I figured we would hit Cigar City. We're in Tampa. Cigar City and Angry Chair.
Nice. He should bring me some, Deschutes. Is Deschutes out there in Oregon? When we were
that's out by Portland, yeah.
Yeah, when we were in Portland, we went to Deschutes and Rogue.
Right?
And I don't know if you remember, because that night, but the waitress we had at Rogue, the brewery, we managed Comic-Cons, and she just kept bringing us out free alcohol.
Because we're awesome.
And free beer. And it was great, but then it got to the point where, I only wanted, one. But then you can't say no.
Oh, that's good beer.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say I wasn't about to, but I was just like, ooh. But I'm not complaining about free beer. I just remember the next day.
Sweating it out on the convention floor. Just sweating alcohol.
You know what's a great way to sweat some alcohol?
With Cigar City homemade apple pie cider?
Answering listener questions.
Okay, that too. Shameless attempt. All right, next question. This person provided a question in either last episode or 2 episodes ago. This comes from at Marvel Zombie K on Twitter. He regularly changes his account name. Now it is Marvel Zombie King Emperor Dude. And he asks, and this actually ties back to a past listener question from an episode or 2 ago. What does the Disney Fox buyout mean for aliens?
All right, so the best way to look at this for me is thinking about when Disney bought Marvel and when Disney bought Star Wars. So what happened with both when Disney bought them out?
So are you asking me?
Yeah.
Are you okay? So I'm giving what I will humbly call a more shallow view than what I think is your good view of the industry, but it strikes me that I, as the fan, get more, but I'm getting more, and it is going to have a little less attention to the way that it's classically delivered, But at the same time, I think I'm going to get more flavors in that more. And so if I'm not an overly picky fan, I think I'm going to walk out a winner, as I feel that I have with Star Wars.
Like, and also, I do think that.
Not that Covenant was a piece of art.
Yeah. So, when you look back at the recent Star Wars films, Force Awakens, Rogue One.
Yes.
And then there was Last Jedi, and now there's Han Solo. So Force Awakens, J.J. Abrams just had to make something that was familiar to fans. Rogue One, the director actually got fired from that, and they hired another director came in to finish it because they wanted to add in more positivity, more hope. This one, Rian Johnson, they actually let him change up the formula a lot, but it was still very much so a Star Wars film that showed that Disney is looking towards the future. But then Han Solo, they fired the directors because they wanted to be too cheeky and take it away from the tone of Star Wars. So what I get from them is that they want to move forward and they're willing to take risks, but it's still the Star Wars IP. And then with Marvel, it just got more, they hire very interesting directors to make these movies, but I love them. They're always in the 90s. They're always good. Guardians of the Galaxy, but they all definitely tie together. They all have to build to something else. So there's very little solo films that don't, there are standalones, but they have to have some sprinklings that tie into the rest of the universe. And they've all been great and they've all been managed. And if you look at the Alien films, so you had Ridley Scott, James Cameron, David Fincher, that guy that did the fourth one, the AVP films, and then you had Ridley Scott's bonkers visions. I think gone are the day where, if they take it seriously, gone are the days where they just bring individual directors in to make the individual sequels. I think they're going to be more managed and they're going to be less chaotic and in turn maybe less visionary like some of the moments, but I think they're going to be overall in quality terms better.
I certainly hope so. But I haven't found myself disappointed with the Star Wars movies or the Marvel movies overall, and so, and again, after Covenant, it's not like you can make a more wrong turn.
Yeah, I think you should, so Covenant made money despite its, there are good moments. I think Fassbender's really good and overall, I think it looks good and everything, but I would like to see Ridley Scott finish this trilogy and then just have him start with something else. They don't even have to start anew.
With Neil Blomkamp.
Oh yeah, Neil Blomkamp. Put him in there. Let him tell his vision. And I kind of like what Star Wars is doing. They had to bring back people for Force Awakens. Now they're weaning it away into a new universe, a new thing. And these aliens, I love Sigourney Weaver and Aliens. I'd love to see her in Blomkamp's, but you can also move forward with further tales, further characters. So I hope that's what they do. Because I think now the only way you could really get an alien, aside from AVP and all that, the way to get Aliens movies told now are with Ridley Scott or Sigourney Weaver. I'd like to see alien movies be told with different actors.
Yeah. It's a good question.
Yeah. Or they all go PG rated.
Don't you?
Ewoks ride Xenomorphs.
Oh.
Hey, shout out to that TV show Riverdale, because this one woman called these two people that were smooching Xenomorphs. That made me happy.
Good save. You were depressing me with where you were going.
Ewoks riding Xenomorphs. Oh. Wait, I want an Ewok. I want a furry Xenomorph from an Ewok. A facehugger gets on an Ewok. Oh, get it out. Wait, no, that was Salacious Crumb. What noises do Ewoks make?
Yub Nub. They sing the Yub Nub song. I just know that. Yub Nub. Oh, hey. Echok. Yub Nub. But I don't really know what they sound like. I just know what they say. Oh, hey.
This is what they sound like. She was only 15.
Oh my God. It's so hard. You've soiled the sanctity of Ewoks and R-rated aliens all at once.
You're going to blow the bloody doors off.
Save me with something totally tasteful in your next random award, please.
Oh, this is not tasteful. This is actually, so this one is, it's, if you haven't seen Girls Trip, it is absolutely hilarious. And I mean, it's the highest grossing comedy of the year. I mean, I really enjoyed it. And there is...
Oh, so it beat the other girls trip movie, Rough Night?
Oh, everyone hate... Rough Night, I heard, was just a mean...
I wasn't too fond of it. I saw it.
It just seemed mean and a bunch of improv and just mean. But this one, these four people like each other a lot. They're going through problems. There's like a sisterhood. I don't know. There's a lot of heart to Girls Trip. And the breakout star is Tiffany Haddish, and she is just this whirlwind of energy, and she's freaking hilarious. But there's a scene where Jada Pinkett is ziplining from one bar to another bar, second floors in New Orleans, and she gets stuck in the middle. And they only did the ziplining because they were all drunk, and so she went last. And so she's drank a lot, she consumed a lot of alcohol, she's been on this balcony, she's stuck in the middle of this thing, and she has to pee. And so she's like, oh, I have to pee. And you're like, oh, what's the deal? I don't, they won't let that happen. Then she just, this is hard to say on a podcast, but just pee explodes everywhere and lands on all the people below her.
Aww.
And then Tiffany comes out, it's like, I'm going to come get you. And everyone's like, oh, that's disgusting. And then Tiffany pees on everyone.
What?
Yeah. So,
terrible.
Yeah. But see, this movie, I just never saw that coming. Like, I was hanging out. I was like, oh, there's zipline. And then just explosive Jada Pinkett Smith just pees on a lot of people in New Orleans. This is gross. But I don't know. I had a lot of fun with the movie. I like Tiffany a lot. Everyone's saying she should get a acting nomination. She's been actually won several awards for her acting in this because she's just so damn likable. She's crazy. I loved her performance in this. But yeah, it's when ziplining goes wrong, and that's just a scene I never thought I would ever see in a film.
All right, a scene that I thought that I would never see would be for my most horrifying giant cannibal award, which is going to Gerald's Game, in which the giant cannibal, in what at the time I thought had to be like some starvation and dehydration and delirium, like fever dream that Carla Gugino is going through.
Wait. Spoilers, and come back in 3 minutes.
Sees this googly-eyed, huge-headed monster of a man lick her foot while she is in a nightie tied to the bed, and it turns out that it wasn't a dream. Good Lord! That was one of the weirdest things I saw all year.
Every time that I thought something was happening, is this a spirit? What is it? My hands were over my eyes. I don't think there's any other film that I had one little crack open watching this scene, and my wife's looking at me like, what the hell? But yeah, and then that guy was eating her husband, who was dead.
Right, and then he came back to taste her foot, probably wondering if she was worth ordering off the menu later.
And then she goes to court after this monster has been caught. He's a giant with gigantism, and this giant sees her and goes, "You're real," and then pops his handcuffs wide open. Like the handcuffs were nothing.
Right. Like he thought that she was his fever dream. Like it was just, but that cannibal, like first off, the story is so out of left field that like you're too stunned to be horrified per se by the nature of the story. But I mean, the things in this are just twisted. Like, you think a woman potentially being accidentally left for dead after her husband strokes out in front of her, has a heart attack. Like, you think that's twisted. And the last 20 minutes of this movie are just insane. And giant cannibals licking feet. Lord.
Yeah, that, I did not see that coming. I did not
know that. Did. No,
I did not know that.
Alex Vorkov didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I did not know that there was a cannibal. I thought it was a spirit. And the fact that he thought she wasn't real.
Right. All the more twisted. Yeah, and I don't remember if it was in the dialogue, but I thought that she just thought that she was seeing death coming for her.
Yeah. And then it was just, ugh. Man, I got heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, Gerald's Game, folks.
I like Mike Flanagan. All right. So moving on from cannibals, I guess we'll jump into the best coat worn by a vampire award. And that goes to Kate Beckinsale in Underworld 47.
I thought it was the 49th movie.
Wasn't? Yeah. Oh, no, you're right. Because 47 was the one where it was at a theme park, a swimming park.
46 was the one where they were fighting in a Sears outlet.
Yeah. Wait, 47, weren't all the lazy river was filled with blood?
And they were riding in an empty refrigerator.
You know...
Is this what movies, by the way, are we actually describing the zaniness of sequel nonsense like 20 years from now?
You know what? I think vampires, their favorite ride in a theme park, at least in the Underworld movie, is the lazy river. Because when you watch every single Underworld film, whenever you cut to a castle or a crowd scene of vampires, they're just
lounging.
They're on expensive chairs.
We've talked about it so many times. Actually, and you've written about it a lot.
Yeah, they don't do anything. They just sit in chairs, and then people walk through rooms, and then they just stare at them all judgy, and then they go back. Like, these people don't work. They just sit in a room and lounge. Who's paying for them? Do they work?
I mean, maybe their IRAs are just thriving. I mean, they were contributing for 100 years.
No, they've been lounging.
Well, maybe that's since they worked their 100 years first. I don't know. Hey, if they release an Underworld sequel every year, and by the time they get to Underworld number 47, Kate Beckinsale will probably still be alive in her early 90s, so she could still be starring in these.
Oh, she'll be crushing it.
With crushing it by picking up her walker and beating someone with it.
I would love it. It'd be like Bubba Hotep. Or Late Phases.
The best coat. Wait, but the coat. So the coat that she's wearing.
Well, so the only reason I added this coat is because I love the coat in Wind River. Jeremy Renner rocks a great Carhartt coat, and it's the best one since Manchester by the Sea. Ryan Gosling has a great coat in Blade Runner 2049. But the reason I use her coat is because it's on all the posters, and it's on the Blu-ray, and it's really not even in the film that much.
Is it made out of like mink or ermine or something? It looks nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably
snow leopard.
It's real animals were murdered. Let's just say that. And I just love that this jacket became part of the promotion materials, even though it's really not even a part of the film.
Yeah, she wears it for a little bit, and
then she gets thrown out of it. And
you'd assume it was some royal garb that she was going to receive based on all the promotional material.
When I was watching, I'm like, is this like Whiteout 2? Like, is she in the Antarctic the whole time? But and they love the coat. If you watch this movie, just watch all the shots with her with the coat. And they're like hero shots. Like when Thor gets his hammer, it's like, oh. When she puts on her coat, it's like, vampires mumbling, because they're lounging.
I don't think that she can put on a coat in regular speed. Like whenever she puts on a coat, it's at least in 0.75 speed.
Yeah, and she does the big twirl with it. Like the big spin.
Oh, she can't do a standing coat donning. She has to be spinning. Otherwise, she can't put the coat on.
When I put on a coat, I'm running around in circles because I'm trying to get my right arm into the arm thing, but it's inside out.
I'm surprised she doesn't jump and spin while she puts on the coat.
And then she puts on the hoodie, which is unnecessary because...
It just obscures your vision.
Yeah, I hate unnecessary hoodies in movies. Have I talked about this before?
I don't think so.
That movie, The Mortal Instruments, they're all wearing hoodies inside and it's July. You don't need a hoodie then.
I made it through about 8 minutes of that movie on HBO.
I'll wear a hoodie when it's cold. When I'm doing some yard work or something. When it's freezing out and I want my ears protected. I don't need a hoodie in July.
Nope.
I mean, and do vampires even feel the cold?
They're not. I don't think they're supposed to.
So why is she wearing a massive coat? Where did she get that coat?
One of those Norwegian vampires, I suppose. It was after she emerged from her linen, like her frozen linen cocoon, to emerge as a super vampire. After she emerged as the super ice vampire, she got the coat.
Oh yeah, and she had the different hair.
Remember, it's almost like they were waiting for her. It's like, well, you emerged from your leveling up chrysalis, have a special coat.
Yeah, so I was watching this movie when I had contractors at my house, and so they were working on the floor. I was watching this, kind of doing other things. And as soon as this movie ended, I remembered nothing.
I just remember a coat and her just zipping around like the Flash.
Yep. And then the coat's gone.
And the action scenes were terrible.
Yeah. Well, there's one good shot when all this light exploded, and I went, huh. And then the movie happened. But, no, I think that coat. I mean, that coat was the whole film. When's the last time all the promotional materials have revolved around a piece of clothing?
I'm sure there has been something, but it mattered. It would have mattered at the time, you know?
Yeah, like Vin Diesel's tank tops in Fast and the Furious.
Vin Diesel's tank top. It's a +1 tank top. That dude likes D&D, so it's a +1 tank top. It's a +1 holy tank top. I don't know.
That's stupid. So, yeah, that Mortal Instruments had all the hoodies. People are just wearing hoodies on the posters.
Okay, wait. So speaking of things that kind of define franchises, in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, there are 5 of these movies. Johnny Depp plays Jack Sparrow. And Jack Sparrow, the name, relying on the name recognition, all the jokes about the name was a big, big, big deal. Well, my award is worst nickname origin story ever. And it goes to Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Didn't he stop a boat and then the other boat went in and that's how he got his name, Captain Jack?
So the bad guy is Javier Bardem, right? And he plays this kind of crackling sea ghost whose hair is always wisping as if he's under the water drowned. And he is speaking in his very thick Spanish accent. And when he says, Sparrow. But the thing is that we see the flashback of when Jack is just Jack and he's a kid. And yeah, he fools him very cleverly. He does this kind of bootstrap U-turn. And then Javier Bardem goes into this horrible stalagmited cave and his ship gets torn to shreds and they die. But as he was on his way, he says, look at Jack over there. He's like a little sparrow. But the thing is that when he's saying that, he's on his ship. And Jack is way over on his ship. So Jack can't even hear him calling him a sparrow. And then Javier Bardem and all of his pirates die. And then apparently for the next 40 or 50 years, Jack is going by Jack Sparrow proudly when he wouldn't even have heard it. Am I nuts? Or did those writers totally ruin that nickname?
Wow, I didn't even think about that.
Because when he said it, there's no reason for anyone who didn't die on Javier Bardem's ship to hear it.
Can stuff go a little further on the ocean?
If you say it near the water, they're 40 feet up. And that's still water as well. So no, like there's no way around this. And then even if Jack could read lips perfectly, you don't give yourself a nickname. That doesn't stick. It doesn't. Worst nickname. No, worst nickname ever. In fact, I can't even think of another squandered nickname like ever. Like this just. So, how do you screw up a nickname?
I have a question for you. I liked Dead Men Tell No Tales because I disliked the fourth one so much.
Oh, the fourth one was just garbage.
Would you say that I hate many movies, or am I pretty relaxed when I don't really carry out smear campaigns on films?
That's no. That's very fair. You're much nicer than me.
I would say the fourth Pirates. I don't even remember the name. And Larry Crown are the two movies that I just realized.
Stranger Tides.
On Stranger Tides and Larry Crown are two movies that I could just carry out smear campaigns for.
No, is it At World's End? No, it's on Stranger Tides.
That's the third one, yeah. And then, you know what though? Dead Men Tell No Tales has zombie sharks.
Which were awesome. I love the zombie sharks.
I picked up the guy next to me and ran around the theater.
Like it was a football tucked under your arm.
Just running through the aisle, and people are cheering for me. I threw the guy about 30 yards.
No, I mean, if I was going to rank like the Pirates movies, it would be 1, 3, 2, 5, 4.
1, 3, 2, 5.
I'm sorry, no. 1, 3, 2, 5, 4.
I go 1, 2, 3, 5, 4.
1, 2, 3, 5, 4.
Yeah. Because the first three at least had some. I mean, I like the third one. I think it's a mess, and every time I watch it, I get annoyed by it.
Well, the third is my second favorite.
But when I think about the third one, I like it more than actually watching it.
You know what else? 1, 3, 2, and 4 didn't screw up a nickname origin story.
Yeah, they dropped the ball on that. That'd be funny if he's like, Captain Jack's like, what did you call me? And then Javier Bardem's like, a sparrow. And he's like, what?
A sparrow! Get him! Kill the sparrow! Every time he said sparrow, though, like, it was a little redeeming, because whenever he would say it, and it was a mix also, like, almost of his drowning gurgling with the Spanish accent. But kill him! Kill the sparrow! Oh, God, every time. It was hammed up in a way that worked every time.
Yeah, I like.
Of course, when is Javier Bardem not an awesome villain?
Your Javier Bardem's better than my. I watched that movie Mother. He's not a villain in that, but it's pretty balls out.
He's a Christ figure.
It's balls out.
I haven't seen it yet. But there's a.
You gotta watch it. It's crazy. All right, let's move on to my final one. You still have one left, but my final one is Daniel Craig looks happy award, and
He doesn't ever look happy. You're lying.
And Logan Lucky, he is enjoying himself, and it was just so nice because normally in all his interviews and his bond is pretty dour. In this movie, he's like, I am really liking this movie. I am lucky to be in Logan Lucky. And in fact, movies with Logan in the title this year have actually been really good. But no, have you seen Logan Lucky?
No.
Oh, I enjoyed it so much. I like
a lot of the cast. I just haven't gotten to it. Yeah.
Soderbergh, it's breezy. It's like, it's people saying it's the redneck Ocean's 11, but I almost bonded more with it because I don't know, I grew up in more similar circumstances to Logan Lucky than I did the Ocean's crew. And I loved Ocean's 11. I like the films, but there's like a Steven Soderbergh kind of chilliness, which I still like, but this one's just there's more heart, there's more, I don't know, I laughed, I really enjoyed it. I liked a lot of the actors. Sebastian Stan has a cool cameo in it. Seth MacFarlane, Adam Driver's funny, dude. Riley Keough. I just had a really good time, but.
Wait, Sebastian Stan, he was the Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know, just for me to see Daniel Craig smiling in a film.
Nice. I can relate to that, not having seen the movie, because I can think of another actor who I really like, not because he's a good actor. I'm going to talk about Scott Adkins for a second here. Sorry, Scott, you're not a great actor, but you're an outstanding stuntman and action star. And he did one movie that really wasn't one of his better movies called El Gringo. And it wasn't a higher budget film, but it looked like he was actually enjoying himself on camera, and it showed, like, through the whole movie. Like, some of the smiles on camera actually looked like they might not have been acted, and it was just because he was having so much fun with the scene. And when I saw that, it really stood out. When you see someone who's so usually playing this grumpy or tortured or serious or grimy character, and they smile, like, God forbid, the next time that I see Christian Bale smile without something sinister behind it, I'm going to wonder where the hit's coming.
I watched the movie Night of Cups with him in Terrence Malick's movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically just him man-horning around with, like, Natalie Portman, Cate Blanchett, Teresa Palmer, Imogen Poots. And he's pissed off the whole time in that one, too.
Yeah, he's good at those characters.
Speaking of Scott Adkins, he was in a big-budget film this year. He was an American,
that's right.
He was an American Assassin. Did you see it?
Yep.
Yeah,
I saw My American Assassin. And was Doctor Strange early this year?
No, it was 2016.
That was last year, okay.
Yeah, but Scott Adkins had a pretty big role in another film, and he gets killed again.
And he was always pissy in that, too.
Like, good guy, bad guy, he just gets killed in major movies.
Killed and pissy.
Yeah.
He's usually pissy. This isn't a Scott Adkins. Again, I love the guy. That guy's awesome. Like, I want him in every action movie. It's just that he generally plays these pissy characters.
And one last thing before you get your last award in. I just want to throw in one special mention, and that's the best Liam Neeson from The Gray moment is in Kong Skull Island. And so I don't remember any of the characters in it. I know all the actors. But there's a scene where Kong wraps his knuckles with a bunch of stuff and punches this skull crawler right in the face. And it was pretty awesome.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it's during the big fight at the end.
All I honestly remember from that movie distinctly is him fighting an octopus and eating it during the fight, and John C. Reilly doing his trailer moment where he embarrassingly says skull crawlers. I never said it out loud. You know the thing.
Yeah, he's the best part of that movie. Everyone else, you're kind of like, what is happening? But the Kong fights were pretty cool, and he gets to gray a beast, much like Liam Neeson.
He gets to gray a beast.
All right, last one.
My last one.
No, we're ending classy.
How could I have gone so deep into a podcast without mentioning Zac Efron or Dwayne The Rock Johnson? So, the best dead guy crotch Instagram blackmail award goes to Baywatch in the morgue scene.
Is that the one where he just tricks Efron into lifting up the guy's balls?
Right, getting really close to it and looking under his penis and scrotum, like lifting it up to look for evidence or something. And as he's doing it, The Rock is just moving his phone a little closer and closer and closer while smiling. I'm sorry. I love those guys so much. When I see scenes like that, it just tickles me pink so much. and of course it had Zac Efron touching dead guy balls, which is just precious.
Yeah, you're such a big fan of them. I don't want to share my thoughts about Baywatch.
It's okay. It's okay. You can share. I understand.
I wanted to fist fight that movie.
Oh, I love that. Wait, did you watch the show back in the day?
Yeah.
You did? Okay. Because I know some people, like, I don't think we're getting a lot of the humor because they didn't realize how actively it was making fun of the show. But if you've seen the show, then all right, that's out.
And I think the jet ski action scene wrecked it. It proves my data.
I mean, it wasn't good. I'll acknowledge that. That was not a high point of that movie. But the dance-off scene was pretty good. Like, a lot of the awkward scenes in there were good. And Dwayne and Zach just trying to bro each other. I enjoyed these things. I guess a lot of people are probably rolling their eyes, like nodding, like, yeah, John, this is all stupid stuff that you're saying. But I loved all this stuff.
I wish it had a script. It just seemed like them improvising a lot. Like, I like the actors a lot in that. And I think their best, Efron was really good in Neighbors, but I think he actually had a well-written script to kind of play along with, as well as some improv. I just wish they would have had more of a script, because there's a lot of scenes that revolve around dead juices falling in Zac Efron's mouth, him playing with some guy's balls, then this other guy getting his dick stuck in a patio chair.
Oh God, I love that.
Jeez. And then jet ski action
I love that
scenes.
so much. Not the jet ski action scene, but I like that scene, and it actually reminded me a lot of in Bad Boys 2 when Martin Lawrence is drugged and they're in the morgue and he's looking at the woman with the fake breasts and he's like overly like focused on it, and Will Smith is just like, dude, like what the, Mike Larry, he's like, what are you doing? Just keep looking for the drug, and he's just staring at the boobs. Like, these crazy morgue scenes get me. They're fun.
You need to write your best morgue scenes of film. Jason
Goes to Hell would be in there. The Autopsy of Jane Doe would be in there. Baywatch would be in there. Bad Boys 2 would be in there. And then we need another.
I'll tell you what, though. Baywatch was big for me this year. Because remember when I tried to predict the score, and I said that it was going to have a positive score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it ended up having like a 17%. And then I made a public apology on Reddit, and it got, 2,000-3,000 upvotes?
Was it because you weren't as honest to the data? Was that why?
Yeah, and well, I also said I would never deny, because I gave it a bump, because it was only 40%, but I just had too much faith in The Rock. And I was like, I will never again trust films with jet ski action scenes. I will never ignore the data ever again.
So after I saw that movie, the opening weekend, the very same day I came home, and without even looking at the price, I pre-ordered the 4K Blu-ray for $30. And then right when it arrived, I watched it again.
Nice.
I love that movie so much.
That's what I like, man. Movies, films, and flicks. You just talked about the Autopsy of Jane Doe, a little scene horror film. Then you love Baywatch. And
I'm all over the place.
And I'm going around talking about a ghost story in Colossal, and then I move on to Girls Trip, Underworld, and Logan Lucky. So we're all over the place, man. Like movies, films, and flicks, your one-stop shop for everything.
Not a bad mix.
That's right. All right, do you want to jump into... Actually, we'll do some shout-outs. I just want to say thank you to all of our listeners and readers. 2017 was a big year for us. Every year, I think, John, we're just moving forward, man. We're getting more of an audience. We're getting better at this. So we want to thank everyone that's been on this journey with us. We don't plan on going anywhere. We always are looking to improve, to get better, to get more comfortable. And we appreciate each and every one of you who reads and listens. We know it takes up your time. We know you don't have to. We know you're busy. We know there's other podcasts, but we appreciate you sticking with us.
Yep. I'd want to say another thanks to our listener question submitters. Alex Vorkov on Twitter. He has his website where he shares his snarkiness, not just in comments against us on Twitter, but at alexvorkovwriter.wordpress.com. Marvel Zombie King Emperor Dude also has his more comic book centric website. It's marvzombie.blogspot.co.uk. I've taken a look, but because I'm out of the loop on comics, I'm not quite his current readership. I also really want to thank a couple of independent filmmakers. David Teixeira, who did the movie Girls Night and is currently working on Girls Night Part 2. These are short films. He reached out, asked for a review. I threw that out on the site. I'm always flattered when people reach out to me. And likewise, Corey Schubert, who did Remnants, which I actually saw at Shriekfest, also reached out, and we got a review out for them, and they were very, very grateful for it. Crash Palace, the Last Knock podcast. I love listening to Billy Crash stutter when he tries to say movies, films, and oh crap, he always stutters a little bit and always corrects himself. I like hearing them. They try to cover all ends of it. Like I'd like to think that we do complement each other in our criticisms. They were talking about that John Carpenter classic, The Prince of Darkness, recently, 2 episodes ago, and then recently The Bad Batch and Raw. They did, and had interesting views, but I love those guys.
And Billy Crash is a saint.
Billy Crash, wonderful dude.
Alex, he's okay.
Alex is okay. And Johnny Numb, no H in that Johnny, also is with Crash Palace. But yeah, I love listening to them. They give very, grateful shout outs to us. I just wanted to let them know that I'm always listening too. They really fill my office, work life with a little more entertainment. So thank you to all those people who support us, who share with us, who heckle us or challenge us, Alex, who ask us for movie reviews. And we mentioned earlier your filmmaker friend. You reviewed one of his movies a while back, Interior, right?
Yep. Oh, Zach Beckler.
Beckler on the website.
He's written for the site. He wrote for that 21st Century Horror post. He wrote reviews for Logan this year, which was really good. If you go to the site, check out his review for Logan. Very well written. And he also wrote about Mulholland Drive for us.
Yeah, so we've been getting a lot of solicitations lately, and we're getting a little more immediate help with listener questions. If you're listening, please give us listener questions. We want zany or open-ended or thoughtful questions that don't have right answers. And really appreciate it all. And I have a lot of fun answering them. I think that Mark has a lot of fun answering them too. I shoot from the hip. Mark likes to research, but we most of all like that you guys contribute.
All right, guys. Well, hope you had a great 2017. Are we going to have another pod before the end? No, this will be our end of the year pod. So look for us in the beginning of January. And thank you guys. And so for me and John, Drop Zone, Levingood, thank you guys very much.
Night.